Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. We are going to do the full moon in Virgo Feng Shui, and I'm so excited. So there's a lot going on right now. I have a trampoline behind me. I have things shifting all around my house. There's a lot that's happening, and so I feel like I'm ready for this full moon in Virgo, and I'm getting even more ready for it. So today, we're going to talk about this one singular full moon in Virgo. We only have one in 2021. And I happen to be a sun sign Virgo. For all you Virgos, this is awesome because it's your one full moon of the year in your sign. But it's always awesome because every sign has themes and gifts and so much to focus on that has everything to do with making life better. So I believe everything is always a gift, and we're going to harness more of this specific gift. So let's begin at the start. Virgo is an earth sign. It's a mutable sign. It means going with the flow, but being still grounded. How grounded do you feel? How grounded do you feel in your life right now? I know for many of you, you've been inside for a long time. I have been inside for way too long of a time. And I work every day on doing things to get grounded, whether it's going out by trees and touching them and hugging them, or spending some time going to the beach, or anything to get near nature. So nature is always an ally in staying grounded. But more than that, really looking at the gift of nature, how nature always adapts. Have any of you ever seen pictures of the trees that grow around houses or grow around something, or the plants that grow through cracks in the pavement and weave their way up walls and find a way to find the light? Plants know how to adapt. Nature knows how to adapt. We have a tendency to go here in our heads. And here, it's harder to adapt because here, it's like a minefield where you can get lost inside your head. So the bigger picture of this, whenever there's a Virgo full moon, it's always, how do you get out of your head and really into that flow of being flexible and moving with nature? And the implications of this are huge, because you might be stopping yourself from doing things because of this stuff. How many of you are stopping yourself from this? All these thoughts, what if, but then this, and then I don't know, and then spiraling. But no, you can absolutely get more in tune with nature and find ways to adapt. So if things have been good, but you want them to be great, if things have felt stuck and you want them to move, this moon is all the activation of beauty, abundance, so much enjoyment, and so much power within yourself. So for those Virgos, you know this, but Virgo always gets a reputation for being so precise and so organized. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the larger picture of Virgo is being very self-sufficient, inner confidence, and really wanting to do things your own way. Because you feel like you know how to do it best for you, and no one else could do it as good for you as you could do for you. And that is something to really harness, this idea of your individuality, the idea of your specific gifts, your ways of doing things, not other people's ways, not ways that you were told, but your ways. And so if you're trapped here thinking, because you want to get it all right and figure it all out, let's let that stuff go by getting more grounded. So one thing you can do is take a few minutes, put your feet on the ground, and literally breathe through your feet. My acupuncturist, Dr. Wing in Los Angeles, who saved my life, talked to me about this years ago. And I always come back to it anytime I feel like I'm too far up here. So I just drop my attention down to my feet. So you could just pay attention to your feet and just imagine, as you're breathing in normally, that your feet are actually breathing in the air and it's coming up, and then breathing all the way back down as you exhale out your feet. So you can inhale through your feet, exhale through your feet. And as you do this and start taking deeper breaths, really take a deep breath and go deeper into the ground, pulling more energy up from the core of the earth, all the way up, and then exhale anything unwanted all the way back down through your feet into the earth. And this is a great exercise to do anytime you feel like you're stuck in your head, anytime you feel like things are spiraling out of control, anything that's going on. There's lots of changes, lots of things happening. It's a great exercise to do at any time. It even helps me when I can't sleep. So breathing through your feet, getting grounded, you start feeling more present. And when you're more present, you can be more you. And so the gift of every transit in astrology and all these themes to explore and all of this stuff is different facets, different ways to look from different angles at you and bringing more of you to life, not changing you, not becoming like everyone else, not forcing yourself into a template. This whole way of Feng Shui in the School of Intention, this whole way of Feng Shui that I teach and that I share and that I do has nothing to do with you being a template. It has nothing to do with strict rules where you put black in a corner and blue here. And that's not real. You matter most. And there are so many more powerful tools in Feng Shui than these rigid rules that can help you to get grounded and empowered in your home. So this moon incorporates Venus. There's a strong positive Venus aspect, which has everything to do with beauty and money and all the things that you love. Love, beauty, money. I mean, Venus is just so expansive and beautiful. And so this moon incorporates all of those themes and how you can bring more of that expansion and beauty and loveliness to your space so that you feel more uniquely alive at home. So we're going to go back to nature to start doing this. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, am I organized in a way that suits me? Meaning, do you have a bunch of stuff to organize yourself? I used to get a planner that had just a bunch of days and lines, and that was it. And I couldn't organize myself no matter what I did. I would just put things on the calendar and then I wouldn't do it. And then I feel like I was forcing myself to do things at the times I wrote down and it wasn't working for me. And it was just a mess. And then I came to understand that the best way for me to organize my days was to use a giant sketch pad, which is what I do. I have a planner that's more creative that I have all my appointments in, but I use pieces of paper to organize my day in ways that are going to work for me. And it was like, eureka, I can do this. So for you, are you organized in a way that works for you? Is your workspace organized in a way that works for you? Or are you trying to force yourself to be organized in a way that doesn't work for you? Is your daily routine, maybe even what you eat, how you eat, the times that you eat, are you forcing yourself to do something because you were told it's the right thing when it doesn't work for you? For instance, I can't eat breakfast when I wake up. I don't know if you can, but I can't. And when I finally stopped forcing myself to try to do that, I felt so much better. Some of you might feel the same way about different things that you're doing in your life for wellness. I know so many people who start reading about different wellness trends and things happening, and then suddenly they start taking tons of vitamins and tons of things because they're told that they should, but they might not even need them. You're just doing it because the research showed this, and then this, and then this, and then this, rather than asking yourself first, what do I need? What's really for me? What feels right for me? So Virgo has this whole idea of wellness baked into it. It's all about kind of being the most organized, the most together, the most wellness oriented, of the earth kind of hippie vibe. And yet it's very personal. All the things that are right for you are very personal. So again, are you eating in ways that are right for you? Are you sleeping in ways that are right for you? One big thing I've been talking about for this moon is really starting to just be okay with the fact that you might be more creative at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night than at 7 or 8 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Just because people say successful people wake up early in the morning, maybe not you. And when you can really be okay with that and start leaning into what works for you, that's where genius things happen. So I watched a video on YouTube about a guy who, it was an amazing video. If you find it, I'll see if I can find it and link it below. I don't know if I could find it again. It might be in my history, of a guy who did Picasso's morning daily routine. Well, the daily routine starting with the morning, and Picasso didn't wake up until like 11, sometimes noon, every day, and then worked into the night because that was his time where he could do his stuff. And it worked for him. And he was one of the most prolific artists, and certainly one of the most iconic artists of modern art history. And so you can't fit yourself into a box. And not everyone's organization looks the same. Your organization might mean piles of things. I have piles of books on the corner of my desk because it keeps me focused on the things that I'm pulling from for projects that I'm doing. Some people need completely clear space. Again, I have notebooks around me where I'm sketching things and doing things. I have pens around me that are colored so I can do this in my own way. Do the things that work for you. So how many of you are struggling to know what works for you? And if you are, now is a great time to say, what would feel really good? What would my ideal day look like? And for this moon, it's a good time to sit down and actually write out. Forget about all the things you got to do and all the stuff that's your responsibility and everything else. And just what would be your ideal day? What would it look like? What would it flow like? How would you feel doing things? What would you be wearing? All those things. Just put it all on paper. And you will start to lean in more to that vision. And that is so empowering because ultimately your rhythm, your everything, your rhythm, the things you need, the vitamins you need, the water you need, all the things are ultimately going to work best when they're suited to you. So that's a big part of this full moon. I know probably things you didn't expect to hear me saying, but really, really important. So for every full moon, clean your house, release some clutter that you don't need. And the big thing is releasing this idea of overthinking. I'm going to keep going back to that overthinking. It's the one Virgo trap of overthinking. So I really, really, really want you all to think about, is there something in your life you want to do, but you talk yourself out of it, or you find a way to make it not happen, or you take a few steps forward and then something happens and you go back to thinking about it and then boom, it doesn't happen. I have one project that I'm doing that with. I know many of you probably have one as well. It's very, very common. And so instead of overthinking, put it on paper, decide, and even get an accountability partner where you call someone up and you say, hey, so I decided, I know it sounds irrational, but I'm going to do yoga certification and I need to be able to schedule it from this time to this time every day. Can you keep me accountable? And if I don't keep this up, then I owe you X amount of dollars. That keeps you accountable. Or if I don't keep it together, I'm taking you out to dinner or whatever it is. Or just support each other. Like you each just get together and you make a deep commitment. I'm going to do this no matter what. And you will find that if you bypass this and just do it, it happens in incredible ways. So we're going to release overthinking. Make a list of anything you're overthinking about and do a little release ceremony if you want. That could be another great thing to do for this full moon. The full moon's on Saturday, depending on when you're watching this. Write out a list of all the things that you are overthinking about. I'm doing it as well. Again, I have one project and there are aspects of it I'm overthinking too, now that I'm actually talking about it, that I've been really thinking way too much about. And write them all down, all the aspects of it, and then tear up the piece of paper. So you can put it on a little piece of paper like this and just rip it up, or you can put it on a big piece of paper, whatever you want. Some people burn it, so you could put it in a flame. You can light a match or a lighter and burn it and then put it into a pot and let it burn. I only burn things if I can do it safely, like in a sink, where it's a metal pot and it's in a sink and nothing's going to go wrong. I find it's just as therapeutic to just shred it all up. Some people bury the shreds of normal paper that'll biodegrade in the ground, just really bury it and say, okay, back to the earth with this, or just recycle it and be done. And keep reminding yourself, because it's not going to go away instantly if you've been doing this for a long time. Whenever you find yourself getting into your head, just go, nope, I've already decided I'm doing this. Nope, I've already decided I'm doing this. Nope. And instead, here's what you can do to get out of here. Fill your home with sensory richness. And sensory richness from the earth. So as I showed you guys in one of these videos before, I started collecting more crystals again, just because of the earth element. Forget about what they do or what they mean. I happen to like amethyst because I feel they are very empowering for me. But filling my home with more crystals has been really empowering. Now, this is more of a bigger purchase to start buying lots of crystals. So you could also get more plants. You can also grab aromatherapy that you love and diffuse it. You can also burn incense. You can also burn candles that you love how they smell. You can fill your home every week with fresh flowers. That's incredible. All the sensory richness brings you more into the present moment. And when you engage with this stuff, like let's just say you start thinking too much, light a candle and just go, okay, that's done. Just put all those thoughts into the flame. I'm done. Let's just get to action. Let's just do it. And this is incredibly powerful. So start by cleaning your house, clearing things, get rid of some clutter. Then think about all the things you've been overthinking about, release them, write them down, tear them up, get rid of them, and remind yourself constantly that you're not doing that anymore. It's going to come up and you're just going to stop doing it. Then you're going to get deep into sensory richness in your home. And this is where all that Venus stuff comes in, where the more you have lushness, like I just got kind of recently, a giant orchid delivered. I'm going to get more orchids delivered this week. Makes a huge difference in terms of bringing energy into your home. Orchids are not expensive. They could be like $12, $13. I think that one might have been $20. It's enormous. And it lasts for months and months and months and months and months. And it could last forever if you keep blooming them. So really, really fabulous. What can you do to bring sensory richness to your home? Think about that. Think about the things that you have that you haven't used first and foremost, because I'm all about using what you have. So you might even, and this is a great one for everyone, you might even decide to get into your kitchen, look at the herbs you have that are maybe drying out in your refrigerator, and put some herbs in a pot and maybe add a sliced orange or a sliced lemon and simmer it. And let it simmer for a while and let that simmering scent fill your house. Herbs all have incredible magical properties, and so does citrus. It's very alive. It's very invigorating. And chances are you have some of this in your kitchen and you can do it right now. You could start. This is stuff you can really reach for at any time, but this is such a beautiful moon to get into this and really feel it. And the final part of this that I wanted to talk about, and I'll answer all your questions if you guys have any questions, is this idea of Virgo creativity, which, going back to the beginning of this, we started talking about this mutable aspect of Virgo, this going with the flow, paying attention to the lesson of nature, that things don't always go from A to B. You might say, I'm going to do this. It's going to be done. This is going to happen. I'm going to do this. It's going to be done just like this. And this is going to happen. And then you get into doing it. And the thing that you thought was going to happen doesn't happen. Something else might happen. And now you're like, wait, what do? I guess my intention didn't work. But you're in the middle of it. So keep leaning into it. Keep leaning into things and just keep moving toward the light. So the idea of creativity here has a lot to do with following how you feel. Again, that Virgo individuality, that grounded sense of individuality, starting with, I feel my feet on the ground, I feel myself present, and I'm leaning into all the things that make me feel good. And that might mean that during your workday, you take a break and you doodle because you want to, or you do some crafting as a break, or you cook a fabulous lunch, or make yourself a beautiful salad. You do things that are creative in your ways for you, woven into your day. It doesn't have to be a huge project where you set up an art studio in order to be more creative. You literally can have moments throughout the day where you're working on things that make you more creative, that bring you better feelings. And that is the stuff that ultimately will build positive momentum in your life. It's the stuff that's going to help you feel better and better and better. It's going to help you build confidence. And that confidence is undeniable. It just is. How many of you want to work with people, or how many of you want to be around people? How many of you want to pay attention to people who love what they do? How many of you want to be around people who are complaining and questioning themselves and constantly in doubt and wondering about themselves? Do you want to hire that person to be your life coach? No. And you might not be a life coach, so it doesn't matter. But ultimately, you know that you gravitate toward people who love what they do. And you gravitate toward people who just love their life, even if they don't love their job. And you have humorous attitude toward things, or lightness, and they're flexible and they go with the flow. And that is the stuff that can make you more successful at anything, including the biggest thing, which is being happy. And happy brings you more success in all ways. The science on happiness and success: happier people make more money, happier people have more positive relationships, happier people tend to be healthier, happier people are just in every single way racking up the numbers. So be happier and don't obsess here. Again, get out of here about this one thing or this one thing. I'll tell you that 2 things happened to me this last week that were really freaky. And one, I had started my whole entire feng shui career on Tumblr in 2007. And I was an interiors editor of the platform for a long time. I had 100,000 followers when it was the height of Tumblr, and they were still there. I had all this stuff. No one really goes on Tumblr anymore. Many of you might not even know what it is, but it was this microblogging platform. It still exists, but not a lot of people use it. But I had it just deleted on me last week. At the same time that Pinterest, which is another kind of social media platform that I'm sure lots of you are familiar with, decided, I guess, I just realized it actually happened a month ago. I didn't even realize, decided to basically take everyone's traffic away, where millions of people were seeing my stuff every month, and it went to 0. And I looked at that and I was like, okay. Normally, I think if that was 10 years ago, as my friend said, 10 years ago, if I told you that this was going to happen, you would have flipped out. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I kind of don't care. And it's not that I don't care because who needs it, but I could just do what I can do. And I understand now that I can keep creating in all different places, and everything will always work out. Not everything's forever, and not everything's going to work out exactly the way you want it to the first time. And it might be the best thing ever that it doesn't work out the way that you want it to the first time, because it leads you to something so much better. And it leads you to all sorts of things you wouldn't have thought of. And so this is the manifesting power of Virgo. Stay connected to the earth, stay connected to yourself, stay connected to your vision, but be flexible as to how you're bringing these things to life, because the more you can be flexible, you don't get this. You don't get knocked around. You just keep going. Okay, I got it. I'm going to learn from this. Okay, I got it. I'm going to grow for this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And you'll just keep rising higher and higher and higher. And that is the beauty of this Virgo full moon. So I'm going to check out your questions, see if you have any questions. And let's see. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, happy birthday. I hope you're having an amazing, amazing birthday. That's incredible. Make giant wishes. That's incredible. And for all of you that are identifying with this idea of getting out of your head, please keep me posted on how it's going. And we could talk about more things that you can do to just get out of your head and into your space. But sensory richness is such a powerful, fun one that will surround you in beauty, and that beauty will make you feel better and better, and you won't want to question yourself. You just move forward. People often ask me, like, but what happens if I take this risk and I really want it and it goes wrong? And it's like, who cares? I mean, that's how I feel about things. Who cares? You did it. Give it 100. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to. And on that note, see again that creativity that you're bringing to everything that you're doing. Keep taking it to the next level. Keep notching it up. Keep challenging yourself to create more and more. And you won't be fazed when something didn't go the way you wanted to. You'll just be like, whatever. Because this Virgo energy is, no matter what, it's going to work out anyway. And no matter what, it will. Just stay committed, stay connected. Have an amazing weekend. I hope you have an incredible Virgo full moon, and I will talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.